Hi everyone, Jody Mueller here, and I just wanted to say to everyone, I hope you're having a um, great Labor Day. Where I'm at right now, it's raining, so there's not much to do. Um, I know Labor Day does not have anything to do with um, giving birth to children. I know exactly what Labor Day is for, and but anyway, I was wanting to share something regardless before I forget, because anyone that has been going through domestic violence, hostile aggressive parenting, parental alienation, whatever you want to call this nightmare, uh, knows full well that if we don't say something right away, we're going to forget it. So I'm basically doing this in case my children see it. And, anyone that is willing to listen. So I was thinking about when I get called names like man-hater, or people don't believe my story is true about why I don't see my children. And there's a lot of haters out here that want to pretend it's something it's not, or believe I have a CPS case, which I never have had, or they believe that I kept my children's father from them, which couldn't be further from the truth. So I wanted to share a few things real quick. Thinking about my children today, especially my oldest, is heavy on my heart for some reason, because I haven't seen her in almost 5 years, other than once. It'll be 5 years, October 30th. And my son, who, this just came to my mind, I haven't seen him but 4 hours in 5 years. And I remember on one particular day, he passed out in a movie theater after his father had called him to say he wasn't coming. And this was typical. He would say that he was coming about every maybe 10 weeks whenever he decided to call. And he usually only spoke to my older two children and didn't bother to speak to the twins much. And if I handed them the phone, they would cover their ears and say, no, 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 no. Couldn't figure out what that was about for a long time. And I'll go into that some other day. But my son had been crying uncontrollably. He was about 9 years old after his dad had said he wasn't coming. And so I always would try to compensate when they got that call and take them and do something, spend money, whatever. And on that particular day, we went to the movie theater in a little small town we lived in. And it was during the Pirates of the Caribbean, the very first one. And I'll never forget it. When Johnny Depp peered through that grass, my son jumped up, it seemed like 3 feet up in the air, and landed in my lap. I thought he was just scared, but it was worse than that. And I looked at him, and his eyes rolled back in his head. I thought he was choking. I couldn't feel any breath coming from him, and I couldn't see anything because the movie theater is obviously dark. So I grabbed him. Didn't even see who was around me. I had my other 3 children, my husband at the time. I was remarried, if people didn't know that. And his 2 children were there. And I ran down the aisle, got into the vending area, and put him on the table, trying to feel for his breath on my face. And I could feel a little faint, but I thought he was choking, I guess. I thought he'd taken, a piece of popcorn, was choking. Anyway, his eyes were rolling back in his head, and the lady behind the desk said, let's get in the car. I called 911, and I'm holding on to my son, just saying, breathe in, breathe, breathe, breathe. Don't leave me, don't leave me, and, and just kind of tapping him on his face and doing everything I could. I just couldn't figure out what was happening. It was like he was fainting, and he was I could still see his eyes, but he was rolling back in his head. We get him to the hospital, which was just a few blocks away. EMTs come out. They're putting him on all these machines. And my son, who I was told has Asperger's by 5 out of 6 doctors, therapists, whatever, and never truly diagnosed, but we never knew because they said he didn't talk loud, certain things, they weren't going to diagnose it. Well, anyway, I told the doctor, my son's going to see that blue line and say, you know, he thinks that's code blue, and he's dying if he comes to. Well, it took about 45 minutes before he kind of was coming out of this, whatever this was. And when he did, he looked over, did exactly what I said he was going to do. And he said, Mommy, do you think if you call my daddy that he will now show up? Do you think that he'll show up if he knows I'm in the hospital? And everybody in the room was crying. The doctor took me out into the hall and asked me what he was talking about. And I said their father calls and gives them promises that he can't keep or that he refuses to keep. And he just always gets very upset. So she said, I'll be right back. She went and, looked him over and everything, and then she said, come with me. We go back out, and she said, your son was having a panic attack. And that's what happened in the theater. He was having a panic attack after that phone call. You went to the theater, and then he got scared, and it threw his heart out of rhythm. And so he basically fainted. I guess. I'm not a doctor, so that's what I recall. And they kept him, I believe they kept him overnight. I'm trying to remember if it was overnight or just for several hours. It's been so long. But I did call his father right away, like I always did, if something, happened to the kids. And he was a pilot. He was never around. He definitely didn't live in the state we lived in. And called him and he says, what do you expect me to do? I said, I don't expect you to do anything, but our son asked this question. And I'm sure for those of you that have gone through this and you're dealing with a narcissist, you can probably guess what he said. But he told me, what do you expect me to do when I'm in another state? Are you stupid or something? That's what I got. Are you stupid or something? And he said, our son didn't say that. Okay, well, it was on the medical notes of what the doctor wrote. So, if my son's watching, I don't know if you'll remember that. I know you did up until, your past has been changed. But that did happen, and I guess I'm not trying to say this to make their dad look bad, but I want people to know that are saying bad things about me, that I did everything that I could to keep him in these children's lives. And nothing was good enough. So, I just wanted to get that out there before I forgot about that. Well, I will never forget it, but I know that I would forget to say it, so I need to do like a video log or something. But anyway, should anything happen to me, I just wanted my kids to know the truth, and people out here to know the truth. And there's several different stories. I could go on and on. Several stories like this. And, even my daughter that got in trouble and was very sick because of something she had done illegally. He said, what do you expect me to do? I said, how about calling her and telling her you love her? How about showing up? No. No show again. So, and even if he did, I would go pick him up. But that was never told, was it, in court? Instead it was, she's abused them all their life. That's what he said. I've abused them all their life. I've never abused these children. I would have died for these children and still would. So, I just wanted to put that out there and let people know I'm not this monster. I'm not this man-hater. And I actually feel sorry for him that he thinks he has to buy off our children with cars and gifts and all this, when I know I didn't. All I had to do was carry that baby to the hospital and tell him how much I loved him. That's all he needed to know. And that's all he wanted his dad to tell him that day, or to just show up, or just even call. That's all these kids wanted. So, if my ex is watching this, please stop keeping me from my kids, because they mean the world to me. And you're just hurting our kids for fun, and it's not a game. And you're going to hurt them for life by what you're doing. You've already destroyed me, so your objective has been met. You've destroyed me, but please stop enjoying yourself by destroying our children that I love so much, and that you say you supposedly love. But you can't love children when you treat them that badly and manipulate them. You don't show up for them in their worst hours, and then you make their lives miserable by keeping out the one parent that was always there, running to the hospital, comforting them, and being the person that provided the continuity of care that was there to run through those halls with these babies. And anyway, I'm just pleading with you, Tim, to stop what you're doing so our children can live a normal life and not be broken anymore. Because our daughter doesn't deserve this. Our twin daughters don't deserve this. And our son, who went through 15 years of hell without you being around and telling him you loved him, doesn't deserve this. So, just let them have another parent. That's it. Simple as that. Quit giving them hell for showing love to me. And to my children, I love you. Kylie, you do good out there. I saw your pictures in the guard, and just cried when I saw you coming out of that gas chamber or whatever that is. And anyway, I'm super proud of you. I'm super proud of you for taking the initiative to get out of that home and to go do something for yourself. So maybe, just maybe, after boot camp, you can stand up against evil. I love you. Oh, there's a bird over here. I love you, Kaylin. Good luck in college. I love you, Ian. Good luck in college, buddy. Courtney, I love you. I don't know what you're doing. Working. I don't even know if you're in college, but I love you. And Kylie, you be careful out there in the guard. And I hope to see you after boot camp. And anyway, I love all of you, and it's never changed. And your mom is right here whenever you need me. Alright? Stay strong. I'm proud of you all that you've got the skills to survive. And I know who gave those to you. Love you, bye.